What is going on over at the Academy Awards? They're actually representing genre films. This is pretty wild to see. So, just in the last 2 years alone, the genre has gotten more representation than it has maybe in its entirety combined. And I don't even know if I'm exaggerating on that. It's kind of wild to see how much love this genre has gotten from the Academy Awards, specifically though, and this year's nominations. This one is a big deal. And I can already hear the comments now. Yes, yes. Who cares about the Academy Awards? And are these really horror films? Well, I think that to answer the first question here, I think that this is important. I think that we should be excited about this. And I'll tell you why in a moment. And as far as whether or not you consider these to be horrors or thrillers or dramas or whatever, I, for the sake of this discussion, am going to be labeling all of these in the genre, whether it's horror or thriller. With that out of the way, let's talk about this year's nominations. So I couldn't be happier with these nominations because six of my 7 top 2025 horror films have been represented by the Academy Awards here. Now, one of those was from the previous year. That was The Girl with the Needle, which got a Best Foreign Film nomination. And that didn't get released here for me to see until 2025, so that's why I counted it in this year. So I do want to shine a spotlight over there and recognize that The Girl with the Needle did get a nomination. It just so happened to be the previous Academy Awards. But this time we have 5 films in my top 7 getting nominations this year. So 6 overall and 5 of my top 7 with nominations in this Academy Awards. So pretty wild to see. Of course, the big one here being Sinners. Sinners getting 16 nominations, the most in Academy Award history. We have a genre film now having the most nominations the Academy Awards has ever given out for a film. That is a big deal, right? That is a big deal. We have Frankenstein with 9 nominations. We have Begonia with 4 nominations. And then these next 2 are the most exciting for me because they just feel right. They feel unexpected but wonderful. And that, of course, is Amy Madigan's performance as Aunt Gladys in Weapons for Best Supporting Actress. And also, a complete surprise for me, The Ugly Stepsister is officially an Academy Award nominated film for Best Hair and Makeup. Wowzers. That's pretty crazy. To see The Ugly Stepsister represented in the Academy Awards this year, and The Substance up for Best Picture and multiple other awards, including Best Actress, represented in the Academy Awards, is a wonderful thing to see. You have my favorite films of both last year and the year previous, Weapons and The Substance, getting high praise, accolades from the Academy Awards. 2 years in a row, my favorite horror films, number ones, getting nominations. Now, why is this important? Because this incentivizes executives and producers and higher ups in Hollywood to greenlight more genre films. They look at this trend, and yes, this is a trend now. Genre films are being taken seriously by audiences, that they can appeal to more than just the niche horror fan base, that more general audiences are open to genre films. And to me, that is a wonderful thing because we're going to get more output. you're going to have directors who are like, hey man, I want to make a genre film, and they're going to be much more comfortable throwing them money to make what they want to make. And this is just good for the genre. This is just good for the genre. So seeing all of this representation for the genre is a wonderful thing. And I couldn't be more excited about it. To see 16 nominations for Sinners, 9 for Frankenstein, 4 for Begonia. Now, yeah, I could sit here and be like, there's a glaring omission here, and I could be upset, with Jesse Plemons not getting a Best Actor nomination. I think that, of Begonia, that would be the thing I would want the most, because I think that might be my favorite performance of the year. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about it, because we got so many exciting announcements from the nominations that I'm just going to sit back and enjoy what we did get. To see 6 of my top 7 favorite genre films be Academy Award nominated films is kind of surreal, to be honest. I mean, forever and ever, my whole life, all of my favorite genre films, they're not even in consideration. They're not even in talks. They're not even taken seriously, right? Just not even that long ago, you have wonderful films that were praised by the critics in the genre that weren't acknowledged at all in any way, shape, or form. The Academy, stuck their nose up at them, as they always do. But we are starting to see a serious shift in the perception of the genre. And whether or not that matters to you at all, I think if you are a horror fan and you want to see more horror projects get greenlit, then this is evidence that that is about to happen. We're already getting plenty. Don't get me wrong. We've gotten tons and tons of them. But to get blank check style films for genre films, for talented directors in Hollywood who can now go in and say, look at what Sinners did. Look at what Frankenstein did. Begonia. The Ugly Stepsister, for fuck's sake. Right? You can make a movie like The Substance and get a Best Picture nomination, a Best Actress nomination. You can make a wild, bizarre, crazy, over-the-top, nudity and gore-filled horror film and get a Best Picture nomination. That's a reality we live in now. So this is exciting. This was kind of wild to read through and to see The Ugly Stepsister and Weapons getting attention, to getting actual nominations in the Academy Awards. So you can dismiss this as, fuck the Academy Awards. But one of the main reasons we say fuck the Academy Awards is because they typically snub films like this. And they didn't. There's at least the beginnings of a turnaround. And it's exciting to see, even if this just stops next year and we don't see anything. I genuinely feel like, the one film of my top 7 that's missing from here, I feel like should have also been nominated, and that is Bring Her Back. And I think Sally Hawkins should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress alongside of Amy Madigan. I think those are 2 of the best performances of the year. But it's exciting that one of the 2 got picked, right? Whether or not Sally was even considered, I would say it's possible, obviously, with her history with the Academy Awards and The Shape of Water and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think it's possible. We have 3 of my top 7, and just 3 great films in general. I don't want to keep making it about me. Oh, my top 7, right? Like 3 of the most beloved horror films, or genre films, or horror thriller films, or films that ended up on people's top 10. 3 of some of the most prominent films I saw on lists this year, Sinners, Frankenstein, and Begonia, are all nominated for Best Picture. 3 films. That's exciting. That's wonderful to see. You're lucky if you get 1 every 10 years. Real lucky. To get 3 in 1 year, is unheard of. It's insane. That's not what happens. So you're right. I saw Bloody Disgusting trying to kind of pad the numbers with Jurassic World Rebirth and K-pop Demon Hunters, but I mean, if you want to throw those in, fine. But for me, these are the ones that really matter. So once again, 6 of my top 7 of 2025 are Academy Award nominated films. 1 from 2 years ago, and now 5 from this year. That's exciting. That's very exciting. That's very exciting because I could just see, a movie like A Cure for Wellness by Gore Verbinski, a movie like that, the only reason he got that is because he made like the Pirates of the Caribbean films and he made The Lone Ranger and was like, hey, can I get a film for me now? Something I really am passionate about making. And a film like that would never get greenlit unless you do these big Marvel movies or big blockbuster things that make them tons of money, and then they're willing to be like, okay, I'll take a risk, right? But this opens up the door, kind of getting around some of that, where you're just like, hey, look, The Substance was nominated for Best Picture. Sinners is the most nominated film ever. So you think Ryan Coogler can't go and make another big budget horror film? Guillermo del Toro, of course, is always going to be able to get, budgets, but maybe he can now get that at the Mountains of Madness project off the ground, right? And Yorgos Lanthimos, of course, is going to be able to do what he wants. Zach Kreger is now going to have, the ability to walk in and make a passion project with a budget, right? And this, you can continue going on with that with tons of other directors and tons of other projects. So I think this is a very, very exciting. I think that this is a great thing for the genre. Whether or not you agree with these being horrors, and I know that the Academy always loves to snub the genre and label a lot of these things as thrillers and whatnot, but make no mistake about it. A lot of these types of films that just got nominated, Weapons, Ugly Stepsister, stuff like that, would never, ever even be in consideration. They wouldn't even be discussed at all in any way, shape, or form in the Academy Awards just a few years ago. For them to actually get nominations shows that the tides are shifting towards the genre. We have enough merit at this point that they're really starting to recognize that the genre is a serious genre. And for us, it always has been. And we don't need this shit, right, to love the genre. And the Academy can go fuck itself in a lot of ways, for sure. But all I sit there and think about when I see this is, number one, it's cool to see these films get representation, but and number two, a lot of studios are going to be more open to making horror films, bigger budgeted horror films, and that's exciting. And it's not just like, it's not Blumhouse films, right? It's not sending the wrong message. It's not like, movies that people hate that are getting these nominations, right? A lot of these are pretty beloved within genre fans, right? I mean, most people had Sinners as their number one, and it now has 16 nominations. So that definitely does say something exciting about the future for the genre. So, do I think Sinners has a chance of winning Best Picture? I would say it's probably third most likely. I would say One Battle After Another is most likely. Marty Supreme would be second, and the runner-up to the runner-up there would be Sinners. I think it has a chance. With 16 nominations, it definitely has a chance. I would say One Battle After Another is probably a lock for me at this point. I think Amy Madigan, though, has a very strong chance of winning. I think, in fact, she's likely to win. So Weapons might be an Academy Award winning film here in the next couple months. So that's exciting. Emma, of course, gets nominated quite often. She obviously has won Oscars. So I don't think she'll win, but obviously she has the potential to win there. Ugly Stepsister, I highly doubt will win. I would think that would probably go to Frankenstein. But it's still very exciting to see it nominated at all. Sinners will win some. It's not going to lose all 16. I don't think Michael B. Jordan has a chance in hell. I think Timothy Chalamet is probably a lock for Best Actor. Maybe DiCaprio, something like that. But yeah, no way. Jordan's getting it. Frankenstein probably will win. As I said, makeup, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it might win, but it'll win. It'll win at least one or two. So Sinners and Frankenstein are pretty much guaranteed to be Academy Award winning films. So I don't know. I find this to be very exciting, and I just want to talk about it with you guys. So yeah, you have Weapons, you have Sinners, you have Frankenstein, you have Begonia, Ugly Stepsister, and The Girl with the Needle from the previous year, but we didn't get it here to watch for us until 2025. That's why it ended up on that list. But to get 6 of my top 7 nominated is insane and exciting, and I had to talk about it. So what will next year bring? I would have loved to have gotten all 7. Bring her back. Come on, man. Sally Hawkins rules in that movie. And Jesse Plemons, oh, I can't believe he didn't get nominated. That sucks, but, I'm not going to get greedy here, as I said. So, all right, that's that. What do you guys think about this? Are you excited about this? Do you care at all? Are you somebody that's like, no, fuck the Academy? I get it, but I think you should be maybe just a little more excited about this if you're not. But what would you have liked to have seen here? What do you think shouldn't be here? What do you think this means for the future of horror? All of that good stuff. Of course, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We cover horror all the time. It's the only thing we cover, obviously. That's why we're talking about the genre here. And yeah, I just had to talk about this. So there you go. Tons and tons to be excited about. The Academy is finally recognizing the genre. And to me, that's a good thing. All right, guys. I'll see you in the comments. Adios.